Hi friends, I'm back. Um, it's been a while since my last video, and actually, I'm recording this lead-in about 3 weeks after I've recorded the music portion of the video. Yes, there will be some fun singing to follow, but I wanted to send a message to my friends and family and my loved ones and to anyone who happens to be watching this video. Um, and at the time that I was making the music, I was struggling to find the right words. And um, over the past couple weeks, I've witnessed and have spoken with several people close to me, and it's made clear to me what I think is important for people to hear right now. And so that's why. Um, and that's what brings me to this point in time. Um, and and really what it is this. In my own life and in witnessing um, the experiences of a lot of people who are close to me, some people that I've newly reached out to, or have contacted with that I haven't spoken with in quite some time. Um, Something that is been made really clear is that many of us, creatives and performers in particular, but this struggle really does not discriminate. Many of us humans right now are dealing with a strong cognitive dissonance of the life that we want to be living and the life that we are experiencing in our current reality. Um, and it seems that the gap between those two seems to be growing wider for most of us. And the pathway across is getting narrower and thinner, and maybe parts of it are completely disintegrating, and the work just seems to pile up um, without much happening in the way of hope. Um, and I just I want to express the fact that we aren't alone in this struggle, as lonely as it may feel. That there are so many people who are dealing with challenges like this and dealing with challenges much different. Um, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to process, and there is a lot that um, our conditioning from our previous lives collectively have told us, we need to be working harder, we need to be working faster, we need to be doing X, Y, and Z to get A, B, and C. Um, and time again, we're seeing that that just isn't really serving the same way that it did. And so the path is unknown. And it's scary to be treading water, even though we're working so hard. And it seems so easy to become apathetic, to give up, to stop reaching out to other people, to stop connecting because it feels like all we have is bad news. Um, but I want to tell you right now that there are so many people that care about you, and they're thinking about your experience, and they want to know how things are going. Even if the last 20 times they asked, it's been the same disappointing answer. The burdens that we are shouldering right now, as much suffering as they involve, it still is worth sharing. We can still help lessen each other's loads as long as we stay connected with each other. Even though there are moments, perhaps days, perhaps longer, where the light seems to vanish completely in one aspect of our lives or many, it doesn't mean that it's gone. And it is worth maintaining your connections with your loved ones and it is worth continuing to seek it out and to find it. I keep going back to a quote from a meditation that I started months ago, and it is simply that the darkness, it serves you. It acts as a reminder of how to love yourself, and that in this time you need more love and not less. Just because it's harder to love yourself when things are bad, when you're down and out, when things are struggling, doesn't mean that you aren't worth that love, that you're not worthy of that love. You are so worthy of all the joys and loves of this lifetime and the next. And it is your responsibility to, as best you can, shower yourself with that love. So my message for you and my ask for you, because it is a request, is that you take some time and you give yourself a little grace to find some space to celebrate yourself, to look back on all of the work that you have done for however long, and celebrate you, your love, your joy. Share that with others, share it with yourself, and keep the connections you have strong, because the light will return. Maybe on the crest of a wave or on a bead of dew, but it will come back. Have faith and trust, for we will be with each other once again. Much love to you all. I wish you all the best. Until next time, my friends. Enjoy.
I've learned to slam on the brake before I even turn the key, before I make the mistake, before I lead with the worst of me. Give them no reason to stare, no slipping up if you slip away. So I got nothing to share, no, I got nothing to say. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun, because you learned, On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass, waving through a window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear, and I'm watching people pass, waving through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waving back at me? We start with stars in our eyes, we start believing that we belong, but every sun doesn't rise, and no one tells you where you went wrong. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun, because you learned, On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass, waving through a window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear, and I'm watching people pass, waving through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waving? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? It's like I never made a sound. Will I ever make a sound? On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tap, tap, tapping on the glass, waving through a window. I try to speak, but nobody could hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear, and I'm watching people pass, waving through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waving back at me?